We all say we want an easier life, more comfort, more convenience, more security, but somewhere along the way I realized the easier my life got, the harder everything felt. Little inconveniences bothered me way more than they should have. Someone walking slow in front of me, personal attack. Traffic, emotional collapse. Wi-Fi dropping for 3 seconds, full existential crisis. And that's when it hit me. Life didn't get harder, I got softer. Like room temperature butter, technically still useful, but only if handled very, very gently. This is the comfort creep problem, when life gets easier and you slowly become more fragile. And the uncomfortable truth is, comfort creeps so quietly you don't even know it's happening. But once it does, everything starts to feel harder than it actually is. This video is sponsored by Tonal, more on them later. Most of us are raised on a lie. Growing up, we're fed this story: go to school, go to college, get the stable job, climb the stable ladder, retire with enough saved, and live a stable, secure life. You know, all those magical things that no longer exist. Security is the goal, comfort is the reward. Every textbook, sitcom, parent-teacher conference, and well-meaning adult points us in that direction. But the thing about comfort is that it feels safe, but it slowly drains your curiosity, resilience, and imagination. Comfort makes you feel full while starving you at the same time. And that's how you end up wearing a perfectly polished outer shell of success while feeling empty, restless, or quietly miserable inside. For most of my life, I thought I was doing the right things. Stable job, good income, routine, predictability, comfort, and for years I thought this was me being responsible, mature, and successful. But what I really was stuck. Because comfort and security weren't helping me grow, they were holding me in place. And every time something challenged me, something new, uncertain, or difficult, I felt completely unequipped. Like life kept asking me questions I had no answers for, because I'd never actually lived outside the script. Comfort gives you the illusion of stability while quietly making you more fragile. And I see this everywhere. People feel lost, confused, and unfulfilled, not because they're behind, but because they've never been exposed to enough friction to understand what they want. For years, people would ask me, "So when are you having kids?" And I'd always say the same thing: "When we're ready." Which sounds mature and thoughtful, but really it's just comfort dressed up as wisdom. We think there's an ideal time for everything. The perfect moment to have a child, to switch careers, to get married, to finally take that hobby full time, but there is no perfect moment. That's an illusion designed to keep you wrapped in a warm blanket of predictability. Life doesn't slow down and give you a neat opening. It's not an NFL game with 92 commercial breaks, so you can hydrate, stretch, and emotionally prepare for the next play. Most of life just happens, and you either step into it or you let comfort convince you that latter is a strategy. And the more we wait for life to feel convenient, the less equipped we are for anything inconvenient when it shows up. You can't find your preferences without experimentation. You can't build wisdom without experiences. You can't discover your direction if your life never deviates from the route you were handed at 18. Which is why so many people wake up one day feeling like strangers wearing their own clothes. They've spent their life following someone else's map. My life got better the moment I stopped chasing comfort and started chasing small experiments. Not big, scary leaps, just tiny, fresh starts everywhere. What would happen if I woke up an hour earlier? What would happen if I actually ate mostly whole foods? What if I committed to working out 3 days a week consistently? What if I stopped taking the same drive to the office, the same routines, the same defaults? What if I deleted social media from my phone? What if I tracked my mood for 30 days? What if I ran a Spartan 21K or climbed Mount Washington in the winter? What if I tried a startup and then started my own? What if we rented our home? What if we got rid of 85% of our stuff and kept only the essentials? What if I went all in on my own company? What if I started a podcast, then a YouTube channel, and tried not to look awkward on camera? Which, jury's still out. Every fresh start made me a slightly different person. Not overnight, but slowly, like erosion in the right direction. And every experiment showed me how wrong I was about comfort. Because the more comfort I removed, the more alive and capable I felt. Comfort creep is a real thing. and psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. Your brain adjusts to comfort incredibly fast. Comfort becomes the new baseline, and anything below that baseline feels like suffering. And the body works the same way. As Alex Hutchinson explains in Endure, the human body adapts to discomfort shockingly fast. If you're not used to running in the heat, just 3 to 4 days of exposure can significantly increase your heat tolerance. Move to a bitterly cold town, give it a few days, and suddenly freezing your ass off feels normalish. The body is built to adapt. The problem is when we stop giving it anything to adapt to. That's when small problems feel big. It's why your grandparents brag about walking 10 miles in the snow like it was character development, and we emotionally unravel if DoorDash takes more than 18 minutes. Psychologists also talk about something called stress inoculation, small controlled doses of discomfort that make you harder to knock over. It's basically vaccinating your life against minor inconveniences. And when you skip those small doses for too long, your brain becomes rigid. Less novelty, less challenge, and suddenly even tiny problems feel catastrophic. In other words, a life without friction creates a brain that can't handle friction. And the more comfortable you are, the smaller the obstacles that can break you. Comfort creep doesn't just make you weaker, it makes life feel heavier. Which brings me to the moment where all this clicked for me. It was slow, subtle, and almost invisible, but one day I realized I wasn't actually living my life, I was just maintaining it. Keeping everything predictable, keeping everything safe, keeping everything the same, and as a result, I wasn't growing. I wasn't curious, I wasn't experimenting, I was comfortable, and that was the problem. So I stopped chasing certainty, and I started chasing small tests everywhere. And that one shift changed more about my life than any morning routine, habit tracker, or self-help hack I've ever tried. And trust me, I've tried all of them, some twice. But before we talk about how to actually rebuild your tolerance for discomfort, let me tell you about the one tool that consistently gives me productive discomfort without the emotional meltdown part. Tonal is basically the antidote to comfort creep. It's a full gym and personal trainer that lives on your wall, which sounds convenient, and it is, but it also quietly pushes you out of your comfort creep. Tonal sets the perfect weight for every exercise, adjusts it automatically as you get stronger, and gives real-time coaching cues so you're not guessing your form or Googling, is my shoulder supposed to sound like bubble wrap? It's friction without chaos, challenge without burnout. And expert-led workouts from strength to aero hit to yoga give you options no matter what kind of discomfort you feel like inviting that day. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $1,200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code MOTIVATED. This is Tonal's biggest sale of the year. Get $1,200 off Tonal now through December 2nd. If you've been waiting for the right time to level up your fitness, this is it. Head to tonal.com and use promo code MOTIVATED and make your move before the sale ends. If you survive that ad break without skipping, congratulations, that was your first dose of productive discomfort. Here are some simple ways to fight comfort creep and get your edge back without becoming a Navy SEAL. Number 1, do one slightly inconvenient thing every day. Walk somewhere instead of driving. It's wild, you'll suddenly remember you have legs. Cook instead of ordering, take the stairs, nothing extreme, just intentional friction. Number 2, reintroduce productive discomfort. Exercise, learning new skills, difficult conversations, these build resilience far faster than comfort ever could. Number 3, break routine on purpose. Drive a different route, try a new meal, work from somewhere else, even if that somewhere else is just the other side of your couch. Baby steps. Number 4, try controlled challenges. A weekend without your phone, a night without TV, a week without alcohol. You're not punishing yourself, you're training your adaptability. Number 5, decide which comforts are nourishing and which are numbing. Comfort isn't the enemy, mindless consumption is. The comfort that restores you is different from the comfort that sedates you. And you know exactly which is which. Life isn't supposed to be perfectly comfortable. It's supposed to have edges, texture, and friction. That's what makes you capable, curious, and resilient. Every time you choose a small fresh start, you get a tiny bit stronger. Every time you experiment, your life expands. And every time you step into discomfort, even for a moment, you become someone who isn't afraid of it anymore. Comfort won't ruin your life overnight. It's much sneakier than that, like mold or extended warranties. It will just slowly shrink it. So instead of asking, how can I make my life easier, try asking, how can I make my life fuller? And that starts with inviting a little friction back in, one small experiment at a time.